Flight time is going to be 2 hours 42 minutes. We'll be cruising at 24,000 feet.
It's 11:20 a.m. The newly acquired Jambojet aircraft takes off from Bole International Airport in Addis Ababa for Nairobi on its last leg of a 5-day journey from Calgary City, Canada, where it was leased from. After a smooth cruise across the borders, the plane is finally in the Kenyan airspace. Eventually, the crew prepares for landing with Captain Michael Kwinga and First Officer Michael Moturi in control.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the flight deck, this is your captain speaking.
The aircraft, christened Cozy, lands at Jomo Kenyatta International Airport safely amid pomp and color. The arrival of Cozy brings Jambojet's number of aircraft to 8. The airline's CEO, Karanja Ndegwa, said this will address the surging demand in air travel, a testament to recovery in the sector.
We'll be able to serve more customers because there are moments that our customers are not able to get the availability of seats, either to Eldoret, Kisumu, Mombasa, or Malindi. Those are the ones with the highest demand. So we'll be able to add frequencies, and with adding frequencies, we ensure that at least you're served quite well.
The aircraft was named after a beautiful bird known as Cozy. It flew 14,650 kilometers, making several technical and night stops, with Addis Ababa being its final takeoff for Nairobi. The aircraft underwent maintenance, inspections, and registration in Calgary City, Canada, before the ferry flight took off on 29th July 2023 from Calgary International Airport. I was privileged to be part of the test flight as I witnessed the whole process of entry into service, with my videographer being Edison Mutumba. The aircraft was leased from an aircraft leasing company known as Alberta Aviation Capital Corporation. A rare experience indeed, being on a test flight that took about 1 hour. In the cockpit were Captains Darcy Corbett and Mark Coase from the leasing company, and Jambojet's Captain Michael Kwinga.
It was fantastic. It's a beautiful airplane. Brand new, no issues with the airplane. It performed as we expected, better quite frankly than I expected, because oftentimes new airplanes still have some issues. Not the case here today.
Okay, and on such a mission, what exactly were you looking for?
Familiar with the airplane as I am, I'm just watching for anything that's not right. The Q400 is a fantastic airplane.
We functionally tested all the systems that we have access to in the cockpit. From communication, navigation, pressurization, de-icing, all the systems. We did ground tests and the air tests.
Okay.
Everything passed.
What a historic and rare moment, going through what is known as technical acceptance of an aircraft. And I've learned quite a lot. I've learned that if well maintained, this aircraft can be in operation for 50 to 60 years. Imagine that. Captain Kwinga, who is the head of operations at Jambojet, expressed his satisfaction with the status of the aircraft after the test flight, and at that time, the Kenyan captain would not fly the plane yet.
The role for me as a Jambojet pilot was to observe. Since the aircraft is still Canadian registered, we're not able to fly it just yet. But it's for me to give what I'll call a thumbs up once the team that was flying the aircraft today give it a clean bill of health. For my role was to now observe and make sure that everything was done according to plan. And then from there to give the go-ahead for it to continue the other processes. So this one we call it typically it's a ferry flight. So ferry flight means it's, well, number one, it's a non-revenue. We won't have passengers on board. So we'll just have a ferry flight all the way into Nairobi.
During that process, officers from Kenya Civil Aviation Authority were present for inspections, with Maureen Okomo, Jambojet head of maintenance, explaining the nature of the inspections.
When you're walking around the aircraft, we call it inspections, visual inspection. So during a visual inspection, when you're walking around the aircraft, you want to know, could there be any leaks? Is there any sign of corrosion on the aircraft? Is the paintwork done well? Are there loose nuts? Is there anything that shows you that there could have been an activity on a certain surface? So these are the things we pick when we're walking around the aircraft.
These aircraft aren't painted by the manufacturer.
And the letter said he has a fantastic business relationship with Jambojet, a subsidiary of Kenya Airways and a low-cost regional carrier that has been in business for over 9 years.
Our company focuses on regional aircraft leasing and sales of aircraft. So we do typically new to mid-life aircraft, anything from about 15 seats all the way up to 100 seats. Our specialty is international leases to great companies like Jambojet on dry leases, so longer term dry leases that last 5 to 10 years. So this is a Q400 and really one of my favorite aircraft in the world. It has the speed of a jet aircraft. It's a next generation aircraft, so it has some of the next generation safety features, customer comforts, but also gives you the reliability for some tougher terrains to be able to land on different types of runways, shorter runways, and stability in tougher environments. So it's a fantastic aircraft for the African regions, the Canadian regions, a really specialized aircraft that gives you the speed of a jet, but the functionality of a turboprop aircraft.
Be part of the journey back from Edmonton. We will have 6 stops on the way, and it will take a total of 4 days. So I'll be the flight engineer for the ferry flight. Mostly we'll be refueling and doing transits and overnight checks. That is on the maintenance side, and making sure the aircraft is airworthy for each sector of the flight on our way to Nairobi.
The plane was finally flown to Nairobi after its registration had changed from Canadian to Kenyan.
We will be able to, through the clearance, accept the aircraft through the custom clearance. Then once the aircraft is cleared by customs, then we put it into operations.